They ignored the fact that you got chartered flights because of this girl. They ignored the fact that ratings were going through the roof because of this girl. Instead, they resented it because they said, yo, we were doing stuff long before Caitlin Clark got here, and y'all wasn't paying attention then. But now, the young white girl comes along, and y'all want to sit up there and shower all of this praise and all of this attention that was earned before she ever came along. The resentment is understandable, but it's not about Caitlin Clark, it's about what she represents. My point is, grow up.
Just when it looked like the WNBA was finally turning the corner, finally ready to strap in and launch with Caitlin Clark leading the charge to global relevance and massive revenues, they tripped hard, not just a stumble, a full-on faceplant. And the crack you just heard, that was the league's one-woman ratings juggernaut Caitlin Clark crashing onto the injury list. Again, they blew it.
The Indiana Fever announced that star Caitlin Clark will be out at least 2 weeks with a left quad strain. Clark reported some pain in her leg Saturday after the team's loss to the New York Liberty. She subsequently underwent an MRI and was diagnosed with the strain on Monday.
Now the basketball world is in full meltdown mode. Sports, talk shows spiraling, social media erupting, and Stephen A. Smith, he's practically levitating from rage. He's aiming straight at the WNBA brass, torching Commissioner Kathy Engelbert and setting his sights on Angel Reese, somehow still thinks fans are tuning in for her. If you're with Stephen A., go ahead and comment baby goat over baby giraffe down below. Buckle up, it's about to get real.
Clark was the WNBA's Rookie of the Year last season and a first-team All-WNBA selection. So far, she's averaging 19 points and a league-leading 9.3 assists through 4 games this season. I could give a damn about that last part. I don't care about her leading the league in assists. I don't care about the points that she's averaging because I already know that the young lady can ball. She is special. What I'm interested in is what somebody tweeted me and asked about earlier today that I want to show you right now. Put this tweet up, please, so our audience can see it here. At 4th Gen Bucci, B-U-C-C-I, right? Stephen A. Smith, can the WNBA keep itself afloat while CC, as in Caitlin Clark, is out?
Caitlin Clark, the same woman who turned women's hoops from a background channel into primetime obsession, is now sidelined. Quad strain, minimum 2 weeks too long, echoing Clarkless weeks. And during that time, the WNBA will pretend everything's just fine, while their product quietly collapses like Angel Reese's shot selection. Picture it, the league's shining star, stuck in street clothes, while the ratings nosedive like a brick in a kiddie pool. And no one's saying the quiet part out loud yet.
Unfortunately, though, the celebration in the WNBA, it was cut short yesterday afternoon as WNBA players learned the harsh lesson: be careful what you wish for. Headline at the New York Post: Caitlin Clark sidelined with Indiana Felines announcing shock injury. Keyword: shock. This injury was shocking, but not for reasons that you may think.
Just one to absolutely lose it. Of course it was. Stephen A. Smith, ESPN's human flamethrower, didn't just speak up, he went full DEFCON 1. While other voices in the league offered polite head nods and gentle spin, Stephen A. marched in with verbal napalm. He called out every bad call, every bad exec, every fake smile, pretending Caitlin Clark isn't the reason their paycheck's still clear, and honestly, someone had to do it.
Fanatics also reported a 100% increase in sales for WNBA specific merchandise. It started with Caitlin Clark. And so now that we know all of this, and we've known that for months, now we get to turn around and look and see what exactly is it that the league will do knowing that she's out for the next 2 weeks. I'm not saying I know for sure what's going to happen, but I have an idea.
Stephen A. didn't just rant, he delivered a clinic. Like a man waiting months to body slam the league's blind spots. While WNBA execs played pretend, acting like Caitlin Clark wasn't keeping the lights on, he came with receipts and fire. His words, explosive. You think the league survives without Caitlin Clark? He challenged. Cool story, bro. Check the ratings. Try not to cry. It wasn't commentary, it was courtroom destruction with confetti.
Thanks to Clark, Indiana led the league in attendance both at home and on the road. The Fever averaged 17,035 fans at home and over 15,000 on the road. 4 teams moved home games to bigger arenas when Indiana came to town to accommodate more fans. That's about Caitlin Clark. How do we know this? Attendance for the entire league was up nearly 50% last year. According to data from across the timeline, and Indiana led all teams with an average attendance of 17,035. That was up 319% from the year earlier.
Let's talk numbers, because the numbers don't lie. Caitlin Clark games this year are pulling an average of 1.178 million viewers when she's not playing. Just 394,000. That's not a dip, that's a nosedive off a cliff, a threefold collapse. And yet you've still got players like Angel Reese asking why Clark gets all the camera time. Maybe it's because Caitlin Clark doesn't treat the basketball like a shot put and actually gives fans a reason to care. Just maybe.
We'll find out. We don't know yet, but I'm going to be really interested in seeing, Molly, what kind of effect this has on the WNBA's ratings, because if for some reason there is a precipitous drop-off, then everybody needs to stand down and recognize the fact that the speculation or the assertions and assumptions about her being the golden goose is validated.
StephenA didn't just wake up mad, this was rage. Slow cooked over months of watching the WNBA fumble every golden opportunity handed to them. He's witnessed Cheryl Swoops throwing more shade than a beach umbrella, downplaying the very woman dragging the entire league into the spotlight. And of course, Angel Reese couldn't help herself twisting every moment into a personal audition for America's next jealous teammate. It's been building, and now the lid just blew off.
You asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player set it.
Okay.
Right? So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record?
And there's Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, whose entire Caitlin Clark strategy might as well have been, thanks for the ratings, I guess. Imagine discovering a genie in a bottle, ... and wasting your wish on a slightly larger bottle. That's how clueless it looked. Now, with Clark sidelined, StephenA is basically screaming, "I told you so," from every rooftop in America. And let's be honest, he earned that right.
I noticed when you're asking about Caitlin a lot, you bring up other rookies as well.
No league's ever about one player. That player could get hurt or whatever. So I think it's just to give recognition that in sports, people watch for compelling content and rivalries. And you can't do that alone as one person.
StephenA even dropped some classic fire, saying if this is the magnetic traction that draws viewers to the WNBA, and her absence proves it, then everyone needs to stand down and ride the wave. Translation, stop resisting it. Caitlin is the show. Either get on board or stay behind, sitting in half-empty arenas, surrounded by confused fans, wondering where all the magic disappeared to, and spoiler alert, it left with Caitlin.
Became the first rookie with at least 25 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds in a playoff game. That was Caitlin Clark. Became the 4th different rookie to play all 40 minutes in a playoff game. That was her. I'm looking at other things. 6 different league television partners. This is last year. This is last season, because this is Caitlin Clark that we're talking about. 6 different league television partners set viewership records this year, that year, her rookie year, for its highest viewed WNBA game. Do you know every one of those games included the Indiana Fever?
And let's rewind, because this slow-motion train wreck, it's been coming. Caitlin Clark's first game of the season against the Chicago Sky drew a record-breaking 2.7 million viewers, the most-watched WNBA game ever on ESPN. It wasn't a fluke, it was the arrival of a generational force. And what did she bring? Viewers, jersey sales, buzz. So how did the league respond? With press releases so lifeless they could have been generated by Angel Reese herself. It's like they were scared to admit that one player had done more for their brand than the last. 10 years combined.
Rising tide lifts all boats. And if this is the magnetic traction that draws viewers to the WNBA, and her absence over the next 2 weeks due to that quad strain is providing further evidence of that, then everybody needs to accept it, stand down, and ride that wave. I'm going to be really interested in seeing how the ratings are going to look without her over the next 2 weeks. Let's make sure we come back and ask me this exact same question.
StephenA saw it all unfold in real time. Clark's rise, the league's silence, the veterans acting like she'd stolen their spotlight. Now, with Caitlin temporarily out, the WNBA is scrambling, desperately trying to fill a void left by the only player who could pull in an extra million eyeballs just by tying her shoes. And that's the entire point. Caitlin Clark wasn't just a no-one pick, she was a golden lottery ticket. But instead of cashing it in, they downplayed it. Now the ticket's out of circulation, and the panic is real. Meanwhile, Stephen A. is sitting back like I told y'all, you don't build a castle and then act shocked when the queen shows up.
We know what she brings to the table. But people wanted to hate because why? You had a bunch of players in this league that watched this young white girl come along and take the league by storm. And they resented it because they saw the marketing prowess that she had. They ignored the fact that you got chartered flights because of this girl. They ignored the fact that ratings were going through the roof because of this girl. Instead, they resented it because they said, yo, we were doing stuff long before Caitlin Clark got here. And y'all wasn't paying attention then. But now, the young white girl comes along and y'all want to sit up there and shower all of this praise and all of this attention that was earned before she ever came along. The resentment is understandable, but it's not about Caitlin Clark, it's about what she represents. My point is, grow up.
Here's the bottom line. The WNBA had the golden goose, and they treated her like just another bird. Stephen A. isn't just angry, he's delivering the reality check this league desperately needs. Caitlin Clark is the draw. She's the face, the magnet, the reason sponsors are even picking up the phone. If she's not protected, appreciated, and elevated, the WNBA won't just lose a player, it'll lose its moment. While others tiptoe around egos and whisper tired narratives, Stephen A. has been the lone voice shouting the truth from day one. He's been Clark's loudest supporter, and not because of hype, but because he actually sees value where others see threats. There's real resentment out there, he warned, and now that resentment's louder than ever.
Look, I think Stephen A. is 100% correct on this. At the end of the day, you already see people actually saying, hey, I'm not watching for 2 weeks. I'm not tuning in for 2 weeks. And it's really bad news for the Mystics and the Sky, because both of those teams moved those games to big arenas. So it's like, now that she's not playing, what is that attendance going to look like? The viewership, right? The viewership is going to plummet. I already know, because majority of the people that's watching the Indiana Fever wants to see Caitlin Clark. And sad to say it, a lot of them only want to see Caitlin Clark. They don't really care about the entire team.
It's happening. The nightmare scenario is no longer just a warning, it's reality. Caitlin Clark isn't missing some forgettable midweek game against a no-name opponent. She's sitting out blockbuster showdowns, headline clashes, the very matchups EA drools over. That highly anticipated rematch with Angel Reese vanished, multiple primetime broadcasts gone. The financial blow was instant and devastating. This isn't just Indiana without their best player. This is the WNBA losing its solar system's sun. Clark isn't just racking up stats. She's the reason fans pack arenas, flip on the TV, and line up for $120 jerseys. Pull her out of the picture, and suddenly the Indiana Fever become just another team clawing at relevance.
Everybody was moving Caitlin Clark games to bigger facilities because everyone was selling tickets. There were ratings. It was a ratings bonanza. Now with Caitlin Clark not playing, what do? Well, when you change your situs, guess what? You can't change it back.
Yep. The tickets are literally half the price, and there are entire sections of the stadium that have not sold any tickets.
What's got StephenASmith absolutely livid, what has him pacing in rage, is that this disaster was entirely preventable. Sure, injuries are part of sports, but when a league allows its most valuable asset to be slammed, hacked, elbowed, and practically mugged every night without consequence, that's not just bad luck, that's negligence. The punishment Clark has endured this season would make on NFL linebacker Wentz, yet the WNBA's reaction, a shrug. Part of the game, they say. Meanwhile, Stephen's probably throwing a remote through his TV yelling, "Protect her," and who could blame him? He's watching the only player keeping the league's heartbeat alive get treated like a rookie walk-on. It's not just frustrating, it's malpractice.
2.2 million average viewers tuned in to watch Caitlin Clark and the Fever take on the Liberty.
Peaking at 3.2 million viewers is crazy for the WNBA, even for the Fever.
Became the 6th most watched WNBA regular season or playoff game.
And the receipts, they don't lie. Even in a loss to Liberty. Yes, a loss Clark drew in 2.22 million viewers on CBS. That's the second highest WNBA rating ever on the network for a regular season game. Unheard of. Without her, those numbers are about to nosedive. Picture the marketing execs now, squirming in meetings. Well, we had 2 million viewers. But, ... Sponsors are sweating, networks are circling. Everyone knows the freefall is coming. And you know Stephen A. already has a folder full of receipts for when those ratings hit rock bottom. He won't just call them out, he'll broadcast every dip, every collapse, and remind the WNBA exactly why it's happening.
She came into the league last year with no break whatsoever between the college game and the pro game and did her thing. Ended up as an all-star, ended up being 4th in the league in MVP voting, was the clear winner for Rookie of the Year. No competition whatsoever in that regard when it was really all said and done. We know what she brings to the table. But people wanted to hate because why? You had a bunch of players in this league that watched this young white girl come along and take the league by storm, and they resented it because they saw the marketing prowess that she had.
But what makes this hit harder? What stings the most is that it didn't have to be like this. From day one, it was obvious. Caitlin Clark was the engine powering this entire machine, and yet the league hesitated, downplayed her rise, acted like her popularity was some weird fluke, or worse, something to be ashamed of. All while Clark sold out arenas, spiked ratings, and reshaped the landscape of women's basketball in real time. And now that she's out, all those critics who scoffed at her impact, they're about to eat their words with a side of silence, as the numbers prove just how wrong they were.
Higher television ratings, higher attendance figures. Ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't come courtesy of a league. It comes courtesy of the players that play in the league. And in her case, she was the most popular, which means she could have helped your bottom line, which means you should have seen that from day one and maximized it.
Clark wasn't just good. For the WNBA, she was transforming it. People who'd never watched a second of women's hoops were suddenly glued to fever games. Families planned vacations around the schedule, but now, with her sidelined, those same fans are tuning out, and Stephen A sees it all. He knows this isn't about a twisted ankle, it's about whether the league is smart enough to protect a once-in-a-generation superstar. Clark isn't just a player, she's the bridge between the WNBA's struggling past and its explosive future. And now that she's out, that bridge closed for repairs. And without it, the whole league might fall.
You literally cannot make this up. When she's not playing, ticket prices, merchandise sales plummet. Viewership declines when she is not suited up in uniform. The numbers do not lie, guys. Caitlin Clark is the biggest box office attraction in the WNBA, period. Facts over feeling.
Let's stop sugarcoating it. This was preventable. The way Clark's been targeted this season, it's reckless. Cheap shots, flagrant fouls, full contact assaults, dressed up as defense, and the league silent, hiding behind vague press releases and empty penalties while their biggest star took hit after hit. Now Stephen A is standing on the front lines, bullhorn in hand, yelling, "I told you so," and he's not alone. Clark's fan base is furious. Thousands are pledging to boycott until she returns. Social media is flooded with posts. No Clark, no View. And honestly, can you blame them? Watching a WNBA game without Caitlin Clark is like ordering pizza and getting handed a salad. The flavor's gone, the excitement's gone, the magic gone.
Became the first rookie with at least 25 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds in a playoff game. That was Caitlin Clark. Became the 4th different rookie to play all 40 minutes in a playoff game. That was her. I'm looking at other things. 6 different league television partners. This is last year. This is last season, because this is the Caitlin Clark that we're talking about. 6 different league television partners set viewership records that year, her rookie year, for its highest viewed WNBA game. Do you know every one of those games included the Indiana Fever?
So now we wait with Stephen A. Smith, the lone voice with the guts, to say what everyone else is too scared to admit. He's watching, waiting for the ratings to crash, and when they do, he'll be ready. Armed with facts, fire, and a whole lot of "I told you so." This mess, it's on the league. They had lightning in a bottle. Caitlin Clark was that lightning, and instead of protecting it, they left the bottle wide open. Now, the storm is coming. The next few weeks won't just prove Stephen A. right. They'll decide the league's fate. Will the WNBA step up and defend its stars, or let them walk away while there's still time to save the sport? If you agree with Stephen A., drop a baby goat over baby giraffe in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Click the video on screen because this story, it's far from over.